an equal and opposite reaction. And now 1 month and 1 day into Donald Trump's second presidency, 1 month and 1 day since Donald Trump unleashed Elon Musk and his band of 20-something coders to gut the Justice Department and the FBI and the FAA and USAID and the Department of Homeland Security's anti-democratic overreach. What Newton's law for every action and equal.
You say you have this many employees that you have to cut. That organization decides who they're going to cut. Now they may make.
It's clear from all the writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king.
A room full of ordinary voters who gathered at a town hall in Georgia last night to hear Republican Congressman Rich McCormack. And he's the one who got an earful from his constituents. He was greeted by boos and catcalls as hundreds of critics jeered his backing of President Donald Trump's agenda during his first month in office. Then there was this. A little bit ago, inside the White House State Dining Room, the Democratic governor of Maine refusing to back down when Donald Trump sought to bully and threaten her publicly over enforcing his administration's restrictions on transgender rights.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal law.
Well, we are the federal law.
No.
Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to it.
It's Governor J.B. Pritzker.
We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one. If you think I'm overreacting and sounding the alarm too soon, consider this. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic. And all I'm saying is that when the 5-alarm fire starts to burn, every good person better be ready to man a post with a bucket of water.
And your compliance, democracy requires your courage. That is where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter Greg Bluestein is back with us. He was at that town hall we showed you first. Also joining us, former RNC spokesman and host of the Bulwark podcast, Tim Miller's here. Puck News senior political columnist about opposition and about holding elected officials' feet to the fire. That was just from the last 48 hours. What do you think?
I think we're seeing a rise in activism. We're seeing a groundswell of people that are saying, wait a minute, this is either not what I voted for, because some of these people are Trump supporters. The town hall with the congressman was not a blue district. And then others are saying that our worst fears have come alive. And when you start seeing thousands of people all over the country marching about the federal layoffs, and you see the town hall meetings, you're beginning to remember that what a lot of people forgot. When he went in 2016 and said he was going to end the Affordable Care Act and end Obamacare, it was this same organic rise up that we saw people at town hall meetings of their congressmen or congresswoman. People started rallying. People started marching.
And I think what's important about the piece is, and what's important about Rev's point about the town hall, is we speak with such despair, one side or the other. That's been disproven in the last month. The things that Trump has done are abundantly clear to people who voted for him. And I wonder what you think of this moment.
It has. Well, I'm encouraged in this moment that some slumbering bears seem to have been awoken in the elected Democratic class, which is good, but also among people, and I think that it was rational and sensible for people to be disheartened after the election. I was disheartened. If this wasn't my job, I probably would have taken a month off too, and so I understand that. But eventually over time, we all knew, those of us who have watched Donald Trump closely, who are aware of his many bankruptcies and the fact that he left his first term, with the economy in tatters and poop smeared on the Capitol, that he was going to have a similar result this time. And it was just going to be a matter of what and how. And we really are already seeing some of that. It is easy to demonize bureaucrats broadly. It is true that the federal government could be more efficient. But what is also true is that when you bring in somebody who has no expertise on this, who seems completely addled, who's wearing sunglasses and carrying a chainsaw at a conservative rally yesterday, and just have him willy-nilly fire a bunch of people, fire veterans, fire Trump supporters, fire people that contribute to their community without any review or any care about what happens to them. Well, there's going to be negative political ramifications about that. Propaganda.
It could make its way into your pocket. Democrats continue to rally against DOGE's efforts. Republican lawmakers say that just doesn't make any sense.
What they've uncovered so far is shocking. And this is, again, only the beginning. The Democrat Party's tantrums are exactly why they hold no majority in Congress and their candidate is not in the White House. DOGE is rightly pulling back the curtains that have been closed for years. And the outrage we are seeing across the aisle is baffling.
Baffling. Peter Doocy is live at the White House for us. Hello, Peter.
Sandra, good morning. And we have some new details about how these DOGE checks could work. And it turns out that before they could be cut and sent and cashed, Congress would first have to go through a long and drawn out spending fight.
20% back to taxpayers, 20% to pay down the debt, 60% is left. Who gets that?
Well, the way that it works is when you achieve savings, you can either return it to taxpayers, you can return it to our debtors, or it can be cycled into next year's budget.
And there's broad bipartisan support for cutting wasteful programs and duplicate payments. But these direct-to-taxpayer refunds are a tough sell, even for the president's most important allies in Congress.
If you think about our core principles, right, fiscal responsibility is what we do as conservatives. That's our brand. And we have a $36 trillion federal debt. We have a giant deficit that we're contending with. I think we need to pay down the credit card.
Elon Musk does not care that critics accuse DOGE of taking a chainsaw to programs that require more precision. That's why he carried a chainsaw on stage at CPAC just last night. And he dismissed complaints that he's got nefarious plans for people's social security numbers as the world's richest man.
I mean, listen, like if I steal some social security, I can finally buy nice things.
And we're also hearing from officials here that when they talk about $50 billion or so that DOGE claims to have cut so far, the actual number would be 10 or 12 times higher than that because of the way that that CBO does their projections. Sandra?
Okay. Peter Doocy at the White House on that for us on this Friday. Thank you, Peter. All right. Well, Republican governors are starting to follow President Trump's lead, introducing DOGE-style bills designed to root out waste, reduce inefficiencies, and rid government of abuse. Yet Democrats on Capitol Hill and beyond are railing against those efforts.
What exactly has he been doing? Who is it that he's hired? Who is it that he's firing? How he's coming to the conclusions that he's coming to?
Its tactics right now, essentially a smash and grab robbery. And speed is to your advantage when you're the smash and grab robber. And doing as much destruction as you can quickly is to your advantage when you're the smash and grab robber.
It's unfortunate that this has been an indiscriminate effort led by Elon Musk, one of the richest people, the richest man in the world, who has multiple conflicts of interest as he's looking at what he wants to do with government programs and
repeating their 2024 mistakes.
They're still in campaign mode. Sounds right. It seems like anything that Trump or Musk does, they have to condemn, and they have to condemn it on the basis of the people personally. To me, it just proves they haven't learned their lesson yet, that they should be in the better idea business. And they